and a person of interest. And I don't know why, because I've never done anything wrong in my life. The only thing I can tell you is at the very, 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 very beginning, when I first got my first clearance to work at the plant, I had never worked anywhere. I'd never left home. I never changed addresses or anything like that. I got my clearance within 6 months, and I was working at the plant within 6 months, and that was like the very beginning. That was in 1989. So the only thing that I can say is I want to say 50-50, you'll get it, but I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? Is a security clearance to get a job?
I already been interviewed by DHS. I already got in. I already have someone on me.
Ooh, DHS, but you've never been. Well, you might get it. I mean, you might get the background and get the clearance and everything. I think you might, but I don't know. I don't see any reason why you would not. But then again, I'm not, them. So.
I don't know if y'all be able to do a code deactivation. If I am okay to ask where those people plotted against me that they be broken off. I can ask permission for that. I don't know if y'all can help me out with that.
Unfortunately, when it comes to people plotting against you at work, I mean, even if they can't find anything on you, they'll make up stuff. That's the humans attacking you. There's nothing I could have done to stop it from happening to me. Even my people couldn't stop it. And I don't know what can be done to stop it. What?
Oh, I've experienced that all the time. It's like people lie. They get cognitive dissonance. They're right fighters. They get jealous. They'll find different ways to keep their reality, or they'll feel threatened by you, and then they'll create lies of what's been going on. I have to do that all the time. I call it like the psychic Mary Poppins, where we have such an energy where our white light reflects their subconscious of their energy, and so it brings them up to us, so they have issues with us because it's stuff within themselves they don't want to see. And so my friends and I that are really psychic, they're like, oh, we get around and there's negative people around us. It's a reflection on their stuff that they're trying to hide or they don't want to deal with or they lie. And that's what you were talking about, the human beings and what they do.
And not only that, a lot of this stuff is subconsciously motivated, and they're doing this stuff, and they don't even know why they're doing it. And if you confront them and ask them, why are you doing this, they'll say, I don't know, because they really don't, but it's their subconscious that's motivating them. There's an old psychological, when I used to read psychology books and everything, when I was going through my awakening process, from the age of 7 to the age of 13 years old, believe it or not, I read every psychology book, every physics book, every quantum chromodynamics, every relativity book, everything, trying to explain what was happening to me. Because from the age of 7, the dreams started, the past life dreams and everything else, where I remembered how I got killed in my past life and everything coming here.
Right.
And I had to come up with I had to explain it, and that's what happened. I had started reading every book there was, and I was in a private school, and I read every book in that library. And that's where I learned some of the stuff. The subconscious mind, which is actually controlled by your super psyche, will determine what your conscious behavior is going to be, and you may not even know why you're doing certain things.
Well, it's past lives connections. We have certain fears of past lives. We have certain energies. We have cellular memory. I did like rebirthing, where even in the womb, we get certain feelings or energies that are going on. So when I do healings on people and when I do my tone, it hits the 8th layer of your DNA where it's not linear. I will pick up past lives clearing out. I will pick up inner child. I will pick up post-traumatic. I will do healing work on people. So whatever that level of energy that comes in through, it needs to be released. We have triggers on smell, touch, hearing. We don't know why. And it, like I said, it's past lives, it's energy that's going on. And that's why it's multidimensional. So the healings that we're doing are different layers or different energies of different dimensions. Where I was abused in many lifetimes. I'm still working on that. And I was talking to a friend of mine about she and I, we were queens one lifetime. I was Bathsheba, and I have a channel drawing from Suzanne that did that. And it was like a lot of our lifetimes now is like enslavement, not having money, and the deeper levels that are going through that we don't even know what's triggering us or why we respond, but our different past lives are integrating with us and responding to different things, which is why you were talking about probably we don't know subconsciously why we're reacting to things. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. A lot of irrational fears, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it's wounds. It's like we carry over wounds from other lifetimes. We carry over fears. And our stellar memory remembers everything.
Like walking with a limp in my present lifetime, and I couldn't understand why. And then I remembered, and I figured, I must have gotten injured in my past life in that area. And I focused on not walking with that limp anymore, and I no longer have the limp.
And that's why they talk about multiple personalities. It's like their past lives are coming over layers. They're not able to filter it, so they'll have where they can see in one personality and they can't see in another one. And so we have these different layers or personalities that just are out of alignment or integrating with whatever we're going on. You feel like you're processing that one, Susan?
What?
I said, you feel like you're processing what I just said. It puts everything together now.
No, what do you mean? You said I'm processing what you're saying? What did you say?
It just, it puts, it for some reason, whatever I said, it was a light bulb moment type of thing. You were starting to understand certain things at a deeper level.
Well, no, I always knew that. I always know that in your past lives, you got different injuries and stuff, and they come over in this life. Sometimes it's a scar, a birthmark. Sometimes it's a subconscious limp, and you don't know why you have it or something. And then you remember it, and then you recognize it, and then just consciously work on not having a limp, and then it goes away. As far as her getting the, I don't know if she. If she already had, I didn't know that they interviewed you. So that's a new tactic they're using. The DHS actually interviews the person as part of their security clearance background checks. I didn't know that. That's a new piece of information. Because I've been out of the job market for a while, so I can't. And I doubt if I can ever get into it. I have to start working for myself, selling stuff like plants, and I sell cactus, orchids.
That's beautiful. You should try again.
Native plants.
You should try again. You should try again.
I don't know if it'll work because they now check your Facebook accounts, they check your online activity. Oh, this is an interest. Now that you brought it up, this is a very strange fact. You know how they're always advertising online about do your own background check at redbenverified.com or clearyourname.com or whatever the kind of background security check that they have. Well, it just so happens that I did one of those background checks, and when I did, they check your social media, they check your social groups that you're a member of, they check any postings that you've done. You know, they do the whole background check like a detective trying to find out what crimes you did or something. They have to check your social media. They check if you have a police record. They check your credit rating and all that stuff. Well, I did one of my background checks. It was called Personal One or some weird background company that was advertised on that that guy Scott Anderson who does the survival. He's got his own website, survival website or whatever, and he's always sending different ads and stuff. Well, I went ahead and I did my background check, and they actually had on there about my experience when I stood underneath that black rectangular ship for 45 minutes back in September of 1994. Wow. And they connected me somehow with that massive UFO sighting that happened at that Ayers Elementary School in Zimbabwe, South Africa. And I thought, how am I connected with those kids and those elementary school kids in South Africa? I've never even been out of the country. And I found out they had mentioned the word Arquequians, and they said that I'm from Archeron, and they had mentioned Yissaron. And I thought, oh, my God, why would they put that in my background check? Well, because that was a visible, verifiable event from satellites or whatever up above. And secondly, the fact that I'm connected with ET, and this is where the disclosure movement, they were going to do that disclosure. This is where all the controversy is, and that's why I'd agreed to go on the radio today, is I wanted to tell everybody that the government, the CIA, and everybody is plotting this disclosure, and it's a hoax, because they're going to depict us as a threat to national security, and we're not a threat to national security. And all the UFOs and stuff. That's when I say us, I mean the UFOs and the ones working with them. And they're going to claim that they don't know what the UFOs want, when in reality they know exactly what the UFOs want, but they don't want to face them because they don't want to be accountable, and they don't want to be responsible for their actions. They want to be like a bunch of little kids playing with their toys and not have to answer to anybody and wreak a lot of mischief. And the UFOs don't want the human race to destroy the planet, and they don't want the human race to test nuclear weapons. And on a spiritual level, they say every time you split an atom, you're causing reverberations through all the other dimensions in the universe, and it causes a disruption or a disturbance in the rest of the higher dimensions and the rest of the universe, because we're all in the collective one minefield, a collective psyche.
Hey, Susan?
What? Yeah.
Well, one of the things I love is, like, and TJ knows, the Project Blue Book, but the different ETs are set up for different things. The Andromedans, which are like really the old ancient ones, they are the ones that, and it started off like after the war, like the blue rays, like I just turned 60. And then they got the Indigos, and they have all the other stuff that's going on. But the Andromedans are the ones that literally destroy the nuclear bombs. They had a video that I saw where there were 12 different bombs, and they just popped them like little balloons. And so that's what they're supposed to do. So they have different assignments for the different ETs. For the Arcturians are for healing. So they're all having it. And they're all communicating because they're all part of that Galactic Federation energy that's going on. And so, or gun you're supposed to shoot, it doesn't shoot, or something moves, or whatever it is that's going on. I got my car teleported when I was from Colorado when I first started on this journey when I was 25, and we were dealing with a war, and I didn't know, and I just was dabbling in all this stuff. I was driving from Colorado to California, and then all of a sudden, it was like there was a 2-hour delay. All of a sudden, I saw Wyoming such and such miles. So for the 2 hours, my car got taken somewhere, and that's what they'll do. Or when I get in accidents, I get protected. So they do have different energies or different vibrations or different categories that they do.
Okay, well, my race was called in. We were commissioned by the Multiverse Council and the Council of One and the Orion Council to come into this universe and clean it up and stabilize it. We've already stabilized it and everything, but now we're going to eliminate the parasitic, negative, psychic, disembodied entities and the negative ET scourge. We're going to eliminate them. And that's what we were called in here to do. And we're not even from this universe.
Well, most of them aren't from this universe.